Hello and welcome to today's English lesson. So first of all, guys, can we all turn to wave and say a big hello to our friends on camera? Hello. And we'll begin by doing our meditation sequence. So I will sit down, take 2 fingers, find our heart center, left hand on our laps, and close our eyes. When you're ready, guys, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. Excellent. And next we'll do our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. And we can begin by stretching up high to the sky. High as we can. And then let's go down low, touch our toes. Then we can go back up high one more time. And this time, can we go tippy-toe high? And while we're there, let's have a wave side to side. And then back down to touch our toes once more. And then let's stand up and have a shake, guys. Arms and legs, shake it out. Shake it out. And now let's do some rotations. We can go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Excellent, guys. And now we'll take our right hand and find our left foot. Then take our left hand and find our right foot. Then take our right hand and find our left foot. Left hand, right foot. Take our right hand again and find left foot. And then left hand, right foot. Brilliant, guys. Well done. And now have another shake. Arms and legs, shake it out one more time. And to finish, we will do 5 claps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Have a seat. So welcome to today's English lesson. Now, who can tell me what we've been learning about in previous English lessons, guys? Excellent. Well remembered. Recently, we've been doing a lot of work in the past continuous tense. So let me write that phrase on the board first. Past is spelled P And past refers to the time period that's already happened. And continuous, Continuous. And finally, tense. Excellent, guys. Tense refers to the time period. So altogether, past continuous, tense. Yes. Now, the first thing we learned what to do with the past continuous tense is how to speak affirmative sentences. And affirmative basically means the same as positive. And there was different words that we had to use in the correct sequence to speak correctly. So can anybody remember what the structure of the sentence was? What was the first type of words we use in a past continuous? The subject, yes. The first word that we would use, subject. Also known as subject pronoun. Okay, but then after we've got our subject pronoun, there was one of two words that we could use. Was or were, yes. Depending on the subject, we will either say was, W-A-S, or were, W-E-R-E. Excellent, guys. And then, what word? Yes, when we speak in the continuous tense means verb plus ing. So we had our verb, V-E-R-B, plus ing. And remember, guys, what do we have to do if our verb word ends in E? Delete the E before we add ing. Only with the letter E. Every other letter, we can just add ing. But if we have E, we have to delete E before ing. And then finally, guys, activity or the verb complement. A-C-T-I-V-I-T-Y. So who can tell me, someone give me an affirmative past continuous sentence. What subject pronoun shall we use? I. Okay, I is always a good one to start. So if I say I, do I say I were?
No,
I was. I was. And what was I doing? I was playing. Okay. P-L-A-Y-I-N-G. And then football. F-O-O-T-B-A-L-L. So we can say together, guys, I was playing football. That is how we do our affirmative or positive sentences. But then in the previous lesson, we learned how to change the affirmative into a negative sentence. And it's done by only adding one word. Who can remember the word we use to turn the affirmative into the negative? Correct, Plough. Very well done. So what we're going to do now is have a few students come forward and demonstrate how to turn affirmative sentences into the negative sentences. So let's see, our first student can be Pak Bung. So Pak Bung, come and join me at the front of class. Okay, so we already have our affirmative sentence. Once again, guys, I was playing football. Affirmative sentence in the past continuous tense. But now, Pak Bung, I want you to turn this sentence into the negative. So what word do we need, guys? Not. Now, where does not go? Where will you place not? Before the verb word. Excellent. So you can place not in here. Please, Pak Bung. N-O-T. Perfect. You see, just by adding one word, the word not, we've changed the positive affirmative sentence into the negative. So all together, guys, I was not playing football. Excellent. Pak Bung, that was brilliantly demonstrated. Big round of applause for Pak Bung, please, guys. But let's do one more example. Because we've used our word was, we also want to do an example with the word were. So what subject pronoun can I use so that I have to use were? You. Okay. We can use the word you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask Prel to come forward and demonstrate how to do an affirmative sentence with the pronoun you. So Prel, come and join me at the front of class, please. Okay, so we already have our pronoun you. Y, O, you. And then our second word has to be you were. W-E-R-E. Excellent, Prel. Now we need our verb. What were we doing, or what were you doing? What verb shall we use? Prel's got one. D-R-I-N-K. And then after our verb, the letters I-N-G. Excellent. And what were we drinking? M-I-L-K. Full stop. Excellent, Prel. So Prel has created their own affirmative sentence. All together, guys, you were drinking milk. Prel, that was brilliant. High five and a big round of applause for Prel, please, guys. And now, what I'm going to ask Pat to do is show how to turn the positive statement into a negative sentence by just adding the one word we've learned to use. So what word do we need to use, guys? Not. So Pat, you could just place not in here again. N-O-T. And with the use of the one word, we've turned our affirmative sentence into a negative. You were not drinking milk. So you see, from affirmative to negative, using just the one word, not. Pat, that was very well demonstrated. Big round of applause for Pat too, please, guys. So far, we've done affirmative sentences and negative sentences. Who can guess what's next? Questions. Well done, Prel. What we're going to learn to do today is how to ask questions in the past continuous tense and also provide the appropriate affirmative or negative responses. So what we've got now is a PowerPoint presentation for our students to observe, listen to, and also practice speaking of questions in the past continuous tense. So let's turn to look at the TV screen, please, guys. So let's take a look at our PowerPoint presentation, past continuous tense. Questions. Yes, today we learn how to ask questions in the correct structure. We use the past continuous tense to talk about past actions that are still true. Yes, we're talking about past events that were happening at a specific time. We use the words was or were and the continuous tense. So you can see here we've got was or were and then the verb word plus what letters, guys? I-N-G, okay? Always with the continuous tense. The verb word will end ing. But now we need to look at the different structure because to ask the question, the subject word does not come first. We replace was or were as the first word and swap it with the subject. For example, were you going to school? And if we write a question, what's the last thing that must come at the end of the question? Question mark, okay? Very important. So the past continuous tense, with the affirmative sentences, you were, just swap the subject pronoun and you or were around. And that way we ask the question. Well, how do we give the positive response? The positive question word or the positive response, yes. So we say, yes, you were going to school. But what's the negative response? If yes is positive, what's negative? No. No, you were not going to school. So you see how we can give the positive or the negative responses based on the question. And once again, all we need to do to change the positive to the negative is to add the word not. So let's look at some more examples with some different subject pronouns. Was I reading a book? Now that's the question. And the positive response, yes, I was reading a book. Notice, for the question, we ask, was I? But the positive response, I was. All we need to do is swap the subject word and was or were around. But the negative response, no, I was not reading a book. What was I doing in the picture? Watching TV, yes. So not reading a book, watching TV. What's the question now? Were we playing sports? So the positive response, yes, we were playing sports. Try to notice, guys, the question, were we? And then the positive response, we were. All we need to do is swap them two words. And obviously, the positive response doesn't have the question mark. The negative response, no, we were not playing sports. What word is very important for the negative response? Not. Yes, we just add not to turn the positive to the negative. Try to remember these rules, and that way you'll know the structure and you'll be able to speak and write correctly. Were they relaxing at home? Yes, they were relaxing at home. You can see there, the kids in the picture all relaxing at home. But the negative response, no, they were not relaxing at home. Where were they? School. What are they doing? Learning or studying. So here, the negative, they were not relaxing at home. Was she watching a movie? Yes, she was watching a movie. And the negative, no, she was not watching a movie. So you see, just turning the negative using the word not. Was he listening to music? So who can think, what will be the positive response? What's the first word for the positive? Yes. And then we say, he was listening to music. The negative, no, he was not listening to music. Let's look at a couple more examples. This one with an animal. Can anybody remember what subject pronoun? It, yes. Was it drinking milk? Yes. It was drinking milk. But how about the negative? No. It was not drinking milk. What is it doing? Sleeping. Remember verb, ing, sleeping, continuous tense. And then finally, if we know the name of the person, we don't have to say he or she, we can use their name. Was John walking to the shop? Yes. John was walking to the shop. Or the negative, no. John was not walking to the shop. John was riding his bicycle. Excellent, guys. So if you get used to the structure, you'll be able to speak and write the questions, affirmative and negative responses correctly every time. Any questions? That was excellent. Well done. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the PowerPoint presentation so that they can begin to learn and understand how to ask questions correctly in the past continuous tense. And then once the question's been asked, how to provide the affirmative and negative responses. So it's important to know the structure of the question, the affirmative and the negative responses, because if we get used to the structure, we can speak correctly every time. And coming up, we've got a board exercise for our students to practice. But for now, guys, time for our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. And for this sequence, we'll have a game of Teacher Says. So listen carefully. If Teacher says, we can do. If Teacher doesn't say, don't do. A teacher says, hands on head. Teacher says, hands on knees. Teacher says, touch your shoulders. Hands on hips. Excellent, guys. Teacher says, hands in the air. Hands down. Teacher says, hands down. Hands in the air. Everyone listening very well today. Teacher says, hands in the air. Teacher says, turn around. Teacher says, back the other way. Teacher says, running on the spot. Teacher says, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, and stop. Teacher says, side to side, side to side, side to side, and stop. Teacher says, stop. Teacher says, arms by your sides. Teacher says, down into a ball. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Teacher says, jump. And teacher says, please sit down. And teacher says, we're now going to do a board exercise where I will write a question in the past continuous tense. And then we're going to have our students come forward and demonstrate how to give the positive and the negative responses. So first of all, guys, we need a question. Now, who can remember what is the first type of question in the past continuous tense? What words do we use for the questions? No, that's the negative. Was or were. Okay, so if I use the question word was, who can give me a subject pronoun that we can use with was? Was I. Okay, we've used I before, so let's use was he. Okay? Now, what do I need to do with the verb word? Eat. What do I need to add? ing. So we can say, was he eating? And what shall we ask? What food? Breakfast. Okay. Was he eating breakfast? Today. And then at the end of our question, what do we need? Question mark. Okay, so all together, guys, was he eating breakfast today? And we've got our question, but what we need now is we need someone to provide our affirmative and our negative responses. So let's see who can go first to provide our affirmative response. And I think, Dan, come and join me at the front of class, please. What we've got our past continuous question on the board. Let's all say it one more time together, guys. Was he eating breakfast today? Yes. And what's the positive word that we use first? Beginning with Y. Yes. Yes. So we have to say yes. Y-E-S. And then the trick. We don't say yes, was he. That's the question. We say yes, he was. Yes, he was. And then we can continue with the rest of the question. Eating breakfast today. But we don't use the question mark in the affirmative response. Question marks are just for questions. We just put a full stop at the end. Excellent. Okay, so now down, I will ask you the question. Was he eating breakfast today? And Dan will say, yes, he was eating breakfast. So there you go. There we have our past continuous question, and Dan has provided the affirmative response. Dan, that was brilliant. Big round of applause for Dan, please, guys. So what we need now is somebody to provide the negative response using the word opposite to yes. So let's see if Pangpon can now give us the negative response to our past continuous question. So Pangpon, you can stand here for me, and I will ask you the question. Was he eating breakfast today? And now Pangpon will give the negative response. So what word do we use with the negative? No. We don't say yes, we say no. And then we can use he was. Excellent. Remember, for the negative sentences, yes. He was, and then the word not. And then the rest of the question, eating breakfast today. E-A-K-F-A-S-T. T-O-D-A-Y. Full stop. Brilliant. Well done, Pangpon. So now I will ask the question, was he eating breakfast today? And Pangpon can give the negative response. Was not eating breakfast today. Excellent, Pangpon. Very well done. Big round of applause for Pangpon, please, guys. So you can see how now we've got an example of how to do a past continuous question and then also to give the affirmative and the negative responses. And before we move on to our worksheet activity, we'll do one more example together. But first of all, I'll clean the board. So guys, who can tell me what subject pronoun can we use with were? Were they? Okay. And can somebody give me an example of a verb plus ing? We've had playing. Let's think of a different one. Were they going? Okay. Were they going to, and where were they going to? School. yesterday. Okay, so now we have our past continuous question again, guys. Were they going to school yesterday? So now I will ask a student to come forward and, using the rules and the structure that we've learnt already, provide the affirmative response. So Lakau, can you now provide the affirmative response to the question? So when we're doing our affirmative responses, guys, what's the first word that we need to say? Yes, excellent, Lakau. So were they going to school yesterday? Yes, they were going to school yesterday. Swap the subject and the word was or were, and you'll have the correct sentence. Yes, they were going to school. And then we use a past tense time period such as yesterday. Y-E-S-T-E-R-D-A-Y. Full stop. Brilliant, Lakau. So now I'll ask Lakau the question. Were they going to school yesterday? Perfect. You see, that's an example of a past continuous question and the correct affirmative response. Lakau, that was brilliant. Big round of applause for Lakau, please, guys. But now we need a student to come forward and demonstrate how to do the negative response. So Pat, come and join me at the front of class, please. And this time Pat's going to show how to do the negative response. So this time we don't say yes, what do we say? No. So Pat can write the word no to give the negative response. No, they were. And then after were comes an important word in the negative responses. What word do we need after were? What word do we need after were, guys, for the negative response? No, they were not. Pat, this is the negative response. So as you've learned, the negative response needs not. N-O-T. Going to school yesterday. School, S-C-H-O-O-L. And then yesterday, Y-E-S-T-E-R-D-A-Y. And don't forget your full stop, Pat. Excellent. So now I can ask Pat the question. Were they going to school yesterday, Pat? And you can say, they were not going to school yesterday. Perfect. The past continuous question with the affirmative and negative responses. Pat, that was excellent. Big round of applause for Pat, please, guys. And now it's time for our worksheet activity, where our students can demonstrate their understanding of how to respond affirmatively or negatively to the past continuous questions. So teachers, make sure every student in your classroom gets their own worksheet, because what we've got a series of past continuous questions already. What we want our students to do is to read each one and then provide either the affirmative or the negative responses based upon their own situation. For example, question A, were you eating breakfast this morning? So this morning, if you were eating breakfast, you will say, yes, I was eating breakfast this morning. But if you didn't have breakfast, no, I was not eating breakfast this morning. So using the structure rules that we've learnt already, our students can provide answers to the questions. But what's the first thing to do, guys? Names on top first. And give our students around 15 minutes for this activity and just help them with anything they need. So Pak Bung, this one's for you. You're welcome. Nadia, for you. You're welcome. Chu, here's yours. You're welcome. Down for you. You're welcome. Pat, here's yours. You're welcome. Black out for you. And Bangpon for you. So names on top first, guys. And notice in the questions, the names of the subjects will change. Just remember that when you provide the responses, the subject and was or were change. You see in the question, were they? But the responses, they were. And if it's the negative, they were not. So learn how to use the subject pronoun and the word was or were to swap it for the responses. So yes, I was. Yes, I was. Excellent, Pak Bung. If the question is about you, the response we give is I. Yes, I was. Or, if you didn't have breakfast, no, I was not. I was. And then, were you playing volleyball yesterday? Black cow, were you playing volleyball yesterday? No. Or yes, I was playing volleyball yesterday. Perfect. But for me, I was not playing volleyball yesterday. If you need any help, guys, let me know. Excellent, Prel. You see, no, I was not. Perfect. And then was the dog, so we can say, yes, it was, or no, it was not. Because the dog is an animal, we can use the pronoun it. Was the dog sleeping on the sofa last night? So if you have a dog at home, maybe yes, it was. Or if you don't have a dog, no, it was not. So Pak Bung, was your dog sleeping on the sofa last night? No, so we will say, no, it was not. Because we can use the pronoun it with dogs, because dogs are animals. Excellent, well done. So let's see, was teacher wearing a blue shirt today? No, he was not. Because teacher is a man, and I'm wearing a yellow shirt. So we say, no, he was not. I was wearing a yellow shirt. Excellent, guys. Great to see your responses. You're using the correct structure. That's why I say it's good to get used to the structure, because once you know, you can speak correctly or write correctly every time. The questions was or were, and then the subject pronoun. But the responses is the subject pronoun, then was or were. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the worksheet exercise where they had to read each of the past continuous questions and then provide the appropriate response either affirmative or negative based on their own situations. So it's really important to get used to the structure so that we can speak and read and write correctly in the past continuous tense. And my students here all did a great job, so very well done, guys. And that's all we've got time for today. So we hope you've enjoyed the lesson and found it interesting, and now know how to ask questions and provide the correct responses in the past continuous tense. And we'll see you again soon for the next lesson. So can we turn to wave and say goodbye, guys? Bye-bye. See you again soon.